Chapter 14. Bail or Jail. Dark Sparrow thought, it's either bail or jail. Not the best predicament to be in. However, it will be interesting to see how Americanized this justice system is or isn't. 2 troll guards opened her prison cell. Step out, keep your hands by your side, and walk between us. I am walking between 2 ogres without being handcuffed. Why no restraints? It makes no sense not to be restrained. Administration staff of tiny batfolk and large gorilla folk glared from behind the counter. Walking down a long corridor, Dark Sparrow saw an ogre guard open a prison cell. Walk in, face the wall, keep your hands by your side, and wait for further instructions. He locked Dark Sparrow inside with 1 guard watching her. Another guard opened a double door. Walk out, go through that door, walk between us, and remain silent. More direct orders to follow. Do not piss off the guards. Walk in with your hands by your side and face the wall. Stepping to the left side, Dark Sparrow pressed herself into a corner and closed her eyes, awaiting further instructions. Both guards stepped into the room. One kept watch while the other pulled a sliding shutter across. Dark Sparrow felt the floor moving up. This room must be an elevator. I guess Albac is more technologically advanced than I expected. Once the elevator stopped, one of the guards stepped out to one side while the other opened the sliding shutter. Follow me. Now walk into that prison cell straight ahead with your hands by your side. Face the wall and wait for further instructions. Dark Sparrow followed the guard's instructions while remaining silent. How many times has Marcus Johnson made bail? Each time following the same degrading procedure. Dr. Tracy Genelan is right, I need to stop and think from others' perspective. I need to walk in other people's shoes, imagining what others have gone through in life, and look past my own selfishness. However, I would not be caught inside one of her personal development classes expressing my feelings. They are ready for you now. Walk into the room ahead at the end of the corridor. Both guards stood back, making it so that Dark Sparrow could walk in only one direction. Stepping over a single step surrounded by clear bulletproof glass walls, Dark Sparrow found herself in a courtroom with Troy Marino, Jane Turner, and Trinity on the defense side to the courtroom's left. Sit on the chair to the far right. To Dark Sparrow's left was where Queen Vedic would be sitting looking down at her. Dark Sparrow sat down. One of the guards was sitting across her, next to the door, and the other locked everyone in. Troy Marino approached Dark Sparrow. Trust in me to handle this case. I have seen Maxwell Turner do many bail applications with good success. I also need you to keep your head clear, because on the prosecution side is a scion, not to mention that the judge is a mystic with psionic powers. The digital clock on the wall read 8:55. It was Thursday, June 20th. I will just sing a repetitive happy song in my mind. Troy nodded. Keep your head clear. They are coming. Remember to stand when the judge walks in. Sir Leviticus Smith, Dr. Alexander Saldek, and Maxwell Turner walked through, ready to prosecute. Dark Sparrow thought, I see Jane's father's eyes look much better. Walking in behind them was Barrister Arlo Sergio, wearing his wig, ready to assist with overviewing the bail application and all posing evidence. No more thinking except for singing a song about Edward the cat. All rise for Her Honor Judge Vedic Jones, announced the goblin barrister working as Judge Vedic Jones's assistant. Everyone stood in recognition of the judge. Troy Marino looked at his desk, ready to present Dark Sparrow's bail application. Present the bail application, Judge Vedic Jones said. Troy handed the paperwork to Barrister Arlo Sergio, who then handed it to Judge Jones. She briefly read over the application. I am now going to ask each prosecutor to give a brief statement of their thoughts on this application. Your Honor, I am Sir Leviticus Smith, representing the prosecution as Head of Divine Education here at Amethyst University. Your Honor, I made the arrest last night at 9 p.m., still pending evidence for the strangulation attempt against Warden Cameron Banks, as he has not given a full statement at this time. Dark Sparrow is the only person who was seen after students found Warden Cameron Banks unconscious. And there were over 40 witnesses to her pepper spray assault against Maxwell Turner. I propose jail time for such a serious offense until a trial date is set, once maximum evidence is presented to prosecute. Sir Leviticus Smith took a bow. That is all from me, Your Honor. So where is Warden Cameron Banks? Why has there been no follow-up report or medical report, seeing as most of your students are monitoring his recovery? Next statement, please. Dr. Alexander Saldek stood. Your Honor, my name is Dr. Alexander Saldek. I am head of psionic education here at Amethyst University. I have also begun at Gwenvale Asylum as a practicing psychiatrist. My suggestion as to a condition for bail is that yours truly do some one-on-one therapy sessions with the defendant at least twice per week on a non-negotiable basis. I have had much success in helping people face their worst fears. I promise immediate results before she uses her savage ways attack more innocent citizens during this necessary investigation process. Your Honor. Sitting back into his seat, Dr. Saldek gazed into Dark Sparrow's eyes. Dark Sparrow repeated a repetitive jungle in her thoughts. We love that cat who looks like a rat. We love that cat who seeks a friendly pat. We love that cat with not an inch of fat. Maxwell Turner stood up. Your Honor, my name is Maxwell Turner. I represent the prosecution as head of arcane education at Amethyst University. I am the lead at Max Turner Lawyers and the chief executive officer of Turner Corporation. I pose that the pepper spray was a complete misunderstanding and ask that it be struck from the record. I refuse to press unnecessary charges. Granted, Judge Vedic agreed, striking out the charge with her black marker. As for the strangulation charge, Cameron has not followed protocol. He most certainly understands that unless there were actual injuries treated by our doctors, nurses, physicians, and clerics, there was no assault. Word of mouth from sick students is not enough evidence at this stage, especially when photographic evidence is lacking. Neither has Cameron been seen to add any evidential backing to the claim made by his students. I may be prosecuting, however, my daughter, Jane, and Princess Trinity seem to believe in Dark Sparrow. Troy Marino is a public role model and public servant to Nankin City. He is standing by her side. After all, that is what family is all about. I trust my instincts on this. And besides, we only saw the defendant accidentally use a can of pepper spray now stricken from the record. I have nothing further to add, Your Honor. Sitting back down in his seat, Maxwell Turner took a deep breath, followed by a drink from a glass of cold water. You're not blackmailed or unable to speak freely by any means, Mr. Turner. I mean everything I have said, Your Honor. Maxwell sat back in his seat after having stood to answer the question. Jane Turner, you sit on the defense side, yet your father seems to be forgiving. He is not prosecuting due to lack of evidence. Perhaps a reasonable resolution may be found sooner. Why should I grant Dark Sparrow bail, pending this investigation? Jane Turner's expressions imitated Dark Sparrow's facial expression when she grimaced. She is needed for an A-rank mission to the Topaz Thieves Guild. Recently Nigel and a group of his thugs overran the labyrinth where Edward's Thieves Guild train. Awesome place for park hour. Jane used hand signals to express herself. Get to your point, Miss Turner, Judge Vedic ordered, glaring back at Jane. Dr. Alexander Saldek and his team of elvish scions have recently done a full clean sweep. Last month you prosecuted Nigel Giovanni and his gang and sentenced them to Rubervale Prison. Photographic evidence suggests that the magical artifact of one of our founding forefathers, the Discry staff, remains hidden somewhere. It's hard to detect the artifact that no one has seen since it was stolen by Nigel. Dark Sparrow is our best chance to collect the Discry staff wherever it may be hidden, seeing as she is an obvious infiltrator, not a rogue. I mean, come on, Queenie. We need a badass woman. Otherwise, we will never learn who the cyborg is, let alone prevent his or her next strike. Sitting back in her seat, Jane stood up again to continue talking. Dark Sparrow and I are becoming best girlfriends, sisters. Remember that it was you who requested that Trinity and I bring back Dr. Tracy Jennelan. Apologies for forgetting to send an invite. Dr. Axel Chase, he is looking after Troy's 5-year-old boy. We obviously brought Troy of Enevy and Dark Sparrow the choker, bounty hunter. Well, our law obviously indicates that if the princess is on the defense side, then it is a given to forgive Dark Sparrow and grant her bail, so come on. It's a no-brainer. We need Dark Sparrow like Peter Richardson needs acting school. Jane clicked her fingers and shook her head. Queen Vedic Jones snickered. Closing her eyes, she took a moment's rest after hearing Jane's testament. Princess Trinity, do you have anything to add? Your Honor, Dark Sparrow is still young at age 22, without the middle-aged life experience of everyone else here. She knows me, and I know her. That is how the Amethyst Court of Law works. Trinity formally bowed. Very well. Troy Marino, I have decided to grant the defendant bail under the conditions listed. Dr. Alexander Saldek and Sir Leviticus Smith both stood to oppose. Dr. Saldek shouted, Your Honor, the law states incarceration until a court date for a committal hearing is set. Dark Sparrow is clearly reckless. Dark Sparrow, or whoever she is, clearly shows signs of being mentally unstable, unpredictable, and dangerous. I seriously suggest that she remain under my personal supervision at either Rubervale Prison or Gwenvale Asylum. I can properly perform an accurate diagnosis to help rehabilitate her before she endangers Jane Turner and Princess Trinity on their upcoming A-ranked mission, which could at least wait one more week. I will even assist them on their A-ranked mission in Dark Sparrow's place. Barrister Arlo Sergio approached the bar. Your Honor, grant her bail. One thing not mentioned was her denouncing of our religion in a moment of fear because of her lack of understanding. Sir Leviticus Smith raised his hand. What is the matter, Leviticus? I never did catch what was talked about regarding the religion and its tattoos. Someone needs to fill me in because that sounds cultish to me. Judge Jones smiled. I thought you knew. But do not worry. I will fill you in today as we give a tour for our Cyangan visitors. Judge Jones read over the bail application while Barrister Arlo Sergio continued making his statement. I have reviewed the statements. These damages could have occurred randomly or been inflicted by anyone or by the unknown person inside the cyborg suit. Seeing as Dark Sparrow is clearly not the cyborg, why sabotage the one person you personally requested to help? Dark Sparrow is clearly following our law to help Amethyst University and the entire Sarina gem fields. Face facts, Dark Sparrow's honesty has helped matters become simplified. Taking a stand back behind both parties, Barrister Arlo Sergio gave Judge Jones a wink as he scratched his nose inconspicuously. Very well, Dark Sparrow. Your bail is granted under the terms listed. Speaking into the microphone, Dark Sparrow replied, Thank you, Your Honor. The defense side looked at Dark Sparrow. They were smiling because the bail application had succeeded. Before you leave, Dark Sparrow, I would like to take a moment to compliment you on your application that Troy put together. You are a model citizen who is non-judgmental. Your involvement with NEV is astounding, supporting anti-drug rehabilitation programs, dressing up in costume for children's hospital visits, and more importantly your personal development classes with Tracy Jennelan. Continuing with these is a blessing to your local community. I see you as no danger to work alongside. However, in the investigation into the crime committed against Warden Cameron Banks, you are the primary suspect, so charges will not be dropped until the investigation is complete. You must sign into the Amethyst Precinct every Wednesday between 8 o'clock and 2 p.m., Judge Jones explained. Dark Sparrow's eyes widened upon hearing so many full statements, seeing as she was not a volunteer or a model citizen. Tracy Jennelan is one incredible woman who has helped many people. I see now after reading this that I have wrongfully misunderstood your community involvement. I guess with cosplay it is hard to recognize someone. Nankin City and Earth's children need Dark Sparrow. See you for trial very soon. In the meantime, follow your strict bail conditions. Leaving the courtroom, Dark Sparrow was overwhelmed with joy. Once near reception, she was led into a small enclosed room to see Troy Marino standing behind thick bulletproof glass. 7 holes forming a circle were in the glass to communicate through. Congratulations, Dark Sparrow. You are the first in the Sarina gem fields to be granted bail with a charge of strangulation. How do you feel? Tears uncontrollably poured out. Thank you, Troy. I will remember this day and what you have done for me. By the way, what are my bail conditions? Troy shook his head. We'll talk about that later. We are all meeting Hope and Edward at the stables where our emerald dragons are. Remember, inside the labyrinth is a magic artifact needed to find out where the cyborg is hiding. Arlo will be taking me back home shortly to further my investigation. Dr. Axel Chase has blood evidence to crack this case as we did your bail application. Troy glared. I know you know him because your confiscated items are items stolen from his house. Don't worry, they were not turned in as evidence. Neither was the cutlery you managed to swipe. I see some good inside you even if you are half my age. It is up to you to personally work out the difference between right and wrong. Troy turned to leave the room. Troy, I am sorry. Dark Sparrow cried remorsefully. Save it. Seeing as time is limited, I order you to take what evidence I have here and to clean out my Hummer parked up the street from Axel's house. My address is written on paperwork inside the glove box. Troy nodded. I will see you soon. Behave on your second chance, Dark Sparrow the Bounty Hunter. Dark Sparrow thought, Bounty Hunter is a catchy label. Perhaps labels will help me to remember names. Labels will help me figure out if there is a mastermind behind this case. She devised the following list of labels to aid her memory. 1. Queen Vedic the Good Judge. 2. Arlo the Barrister. 3. Trinity the Mystic Princess. 4. Jane Turner the Dimwit. 5. Maxwell Turner the Sexy Sorcerer and Lawyer. 6. Dr. Alexander Saldek the Scion. 7. Leviticus the Religious Nut. 8. Nigel the Oxygen Thief. 9. Choked Out Cameron Banks. 10. Trevor Banks the Split-Faced. 11. Edward the Catfolk Rogue. 12. Sciadis the Telepath. 13. Julie the Dragon Rider. 14. Marcus and Hope Johnson the Weapons Masters. Nothing against you, Marcus, but only you know my deepest, darkest secret. That means if need be, you could use me if it truly meant reuniting with your son whom you told me about. I need proof that Hope Johnson is in fact your son. I also remember, but for some reason I forgot, that Cameron Banks has hurt you. And believe me, if you seek revenge, I don't blame you. There are too many strange phenomena to do this by myself. I wonder what else to expect. I somehow feel I have a conscience telling me to handle things better and work as part of a team. If I had been summoned to court for a fraction of what I have done in my life, I would easily be spending my life in jail. Dr. Alexander Saldek stood facing Dark Sparrow from the other side of the glass wall. Look into my eyes, not around my eyes, not at the holes in the glass wall between us. Look into my eyes. Look into my green iris, and into the depths of my pupils turning blue. I can see my reflection in your blue iris, and your pupils have widened to 10 millimeters. Forget the last 12 hours, Dark Sparrow. It was all a dream. After all, you felt delirious after you spewed from the motion sickness arising from portal traveling. It's quite common for a woman who drinks excessive amounts of cola daily. Common? Common for a woman. Dark Sparrow said drolly. You must find out the common link between Marcus and everyone involved in your mission. Everyone is hiding something about Marcus from you. Dark Sparrow, you must retrieve the Discry staff alone, otherwise, you will have to split the bounty with those who are not completely honest with you. Honest with me they are not. Marcus killed Zonal Giovanni, then he pummeled his face into the bridge. Then the comatose bitch. Dark Sparrow fainted.